All righty. We're live. It's real.
Hi, Zardina. How are you?
Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Live. Is it happening? Have we started? Are we figuring things out? Joel, is there anything else I need to do right now to be ready?
Where are you from, Zardina? We are waiting for people coming in for this streaming tonight with the great Larry Brown. Just waiting for the people coming in. Olá, Mari. Tudo bem? Vão ficando por aí. Yeah. KOLARS music. Pretty cool. Yeah, Lauren is coming. Lauren is coming. Just 2 minutes to start with Lauren. Da onde você está falando, Mari? Oh, okay. Austin, Texas. Great. Great. Thank you to be here, for being here with Lauren. Just a few minutes to start. Oi, Luciana. Tudo bem? Da onde você fala, Luciana? Tudo certo? Hello, people at YouTube. How are you? Please write here on the comments on YouTube. Where are you from? Yeah, I'm like too. the Brazilian local music shop. Ok, Luciana, vamos ficar por aí, tá bom? Vai ser muito legal hoje. Oi, Alana. Alana, nossa próxima convidada, ok? Vamos falar um pouquinho em português, ok? Para vocês, depois eu falo em inglês. Então, pessoal, boa noite. Hoje, sábado, nós temos uma convidada única, que é a Lauren Brown, da banda KOLARS, lá dos Estados Unidos. Um trabalho único, vocês nunca viram nada igual, tenho certeza que vocês vão gostar. Além do som da banda ser muito legal, o trabalho dela como baterista, percussionista, nós vamos descobrir hoje, é muito legal, é único mesmo, e eu tenho certeza que vocês vão curtir. Então, esses avisos são para vocês aí que estão ouvindo em português, e logo já falo em inglês. Lembrando que hoje, Lauren Brown, hi Pisky. Hoje temos Lauren Brown e terça-feira, a última live de setembro com a Ingrid Bahia, certo? Então, fiquem por aqui, em outubro vem muita coisa aí, muita coisa bacana em outubro. Vou falar agora em inglês para o pessoal, porque hoje é em inglês a história toda. Ok, hi people, how are you? Please comment here, where are you from? Tonight we have a special guest, a very special guest, Lauren Brown from KOLARS Music from United States. Lauren is a drummer, percussionist, doing incredible work that you never seen anything like this. I am a very huge fan of her work and the band, of course. And I hope that you enjoy our streaming tonight. If you have some questions for Lauren, please write on the comments or use the question box down below so the people can watch what you are asking or questions. Okay, don't be shy. Write your comments and your questions for Lauren. It will be amazing streaming. Okay. Okay, Zardina, you can say hello for Lauren right now. So let's go. Lauren is coming.
I'm here.
Hey, view, Oakland, California.
Hi.
Okay, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. How is everybody?
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure to be here. It's my husband's birthday. Well, it was my husband's birthday, my bandmate, a couple days ago. And so I'm here in between. I made like sauce for lasagna. I'm about to put it in the oven. I rushed over to the studio. I'm going to do this thing, and then I'm going to rush back, and then I got to make a birthday cake. There's a lot going on right now.
Please save a piece of cake for me.
I'll save. You can have all the cake. I mean, I've been eating too much cake recently. It's gotten a little out of hand.
Okay. Please, you can turn down the speaker volume at your tablet.
Yes, I'm trying to.
Just the speaker on the side of.
I know. It's being so grumpy.
Yeah.
I hope this. It doesn't want to stop you from talking. Like my phone isn't.
Hi, Camille.
No,
You can do it. I'm here
No.
myself.
I know. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Hold on 1 millisecond, and I'm gonna see if in my sound I can do
We have
that.
some
Yes,
problems
I think I
with
did it.
delay.
Let's see. How about that?
Let me see.
No, you're still talking.
we can.
Forget it. I'm putting that away.
We can try.
I'm putting that away for now. Okay, so let's get going.
Yes, Ardina, you can write the question for Lauren Brown using the question box down below or comment here. Where are you, Lauren?
And Joel, will you read the questions for me? Okay, where am I? I'm in Los Angeles right now. I'm in our rehearsal studio. This is my drum kit. This is where I spend all my time.
Lauren, you going away from Instagram. I will put you again.
Okay, try again.
You going away from Instagram. Please return to Instagram for Okay. Let's go. Let's try again.
Let's try again.
Okay, we are back.
Oh my God. You're back. Okay, we're just gonna have to talk over each other. For some reason, my phone's funky.
No problem. Let's do in the following way. I will say something, and I wait for answer, and I say something after for avoid this delay.
Sounds great.
Okay. Let's start from the beginning.
Yes.
How did you start to play drums like you do and doing the tap dancing, your style or whatever?
It was a long journey. I was in a band with Rob, my current bandmate and husband, and a few other people, and we had a drummer, and I was tap dancing alongside this drummer, and then the drummer quit, but he was an amazing drummer, and he was a stand-up drummer too, so I would tap dance alongside of him, and he played a stand-up tom and a stand-up snare and all interesting percussion, and I love to swing, and he's a Colombian drummer, and it just had this like just this wonderful groove that he always locked into, and I was so impressed by him. And then he left the band, and my band said, why don't you learn how to play the drums? And then why don't you also keep all of the tap dancing that you've incorporated already into the set? You learn how to play the drums and you do it all together. So in my mind, I thought they were crazy. I thought there's no way, like at this point in my life, I can figure out how to play the drums and also figure out how to play the drums, inserting the tap dancing, and how can I do that sitting down? So I needed to create a whole new drum kit. And so bit by bit, I created a platform that I stand on, that I tap dance on. And then I also added a snare, and I added a kick drum, and a floor tom. This is over a period of like 5, 6, 7 years. And I recently added one other drum. It was just a slow process, starting from scratch and building a new way to incorporate dance and drumming. And also like trying to focus on, okay, if there's a drum beat that I want to play at once, I want to create drumming too that I want to dance to. So it's also looking at drumming not necessarily from a musician's perspective of, okay, this is the tempo here, I should fill here, and this helps with the song here, and this supports that part. I looked at it more like, is there a beat that, where is it going to land in my body, and is it going to be something that I'm going to want to move to, and let's create from there, as opposed to cerebrally, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you never figure out about playing drums and doing tapping dance before?
No. I went to school, I went to college for performance art. So I was always open to art that was weird and that, asked these questions and you had to kind of figure out the answer. I was into creating new forms of art, challenging myself. And then this came on. I had no plans. I didn't plan on being in a band. I didn't plan on playing the drums with my life. I didn't plan on going on tour. That was never my fantasy or my dream, which is so funny because it just goes to show you can't really design your life, and you probably shouldn't, because if you do too hard, you miss all these opportunities to see where life takes you. And I guess I'm an example of that.
Crazy. It's completely crazy to think that you never thought about doing this stuff. So what's the first step that you made to play the drums and doing the tapping? The first movement.
I remember in early shows, I tap dance, and I just brought along my crash cymbal. And so really early on, I just was like, okay, what is it like to still tap the beat, but accent on crash cymbal? And then the next stage of the game was, okay, what if I tap into the beat and I hit a snare and I hit a crash cymbal? And then I kept moving forward. I kept adding another drum to it. And then for a long time in the band that I was in, my husband would play the kick drum, and I would tap dance, play the floor tom, play the snare drum, and play the cymbal. And it was crazy because we had to be so connected in ways that we never got a break from each other, you know? We're like, we're already romantic together, and then we get on stage, and instead of being able to go like, I'm gonna do this and you're gonna do that, we still had to listen so intensely to what the other person was doing. And then eventually, because he was playing guitar and playing that drum, he went, I don't want to play this kick drum anymore. Is there any way you can take the kick drum? And I'm always so hesitant when I'm asked to do something new. I don't fit, but I'm not happy with it. And then I'm always happy about it. He'll tell me to present something that seems super challenging. I'll go, you're crazy, I can't do that, and how dare you? I'm not that good or that smart. No. He goes, try. You don't have to be perfect. Just try. And I fall in love with the process of it. I fall in love with that. I don't expect to it became less. It was
Yeah, fantastic. So you can show us the first step, the lesson number 1, to anybody that wants to follow your steps.
Okay. What's range? I'm confused. Are you seeing me just screen, or can you see my drums behind?
The both. I can see you.
Oh, fantastic. So you guys can see my kit?
Yeah. Well, you go away from StreamYard right now. Yeah. Yeah. you Yeah. Yeah, I know. Device is not connected. Okay, add to stream, Lauren Brown. Go ahead. Go ahead, dear.
Am I good now, Joel?
Yeah.
Am I back in?
Yeah.
All right. Can everybody see my feet right now? So for a long time, when I was playing with the other band and I didn't play the drums, I do lots of steps that were in the ballpark of like that just kind of supported like a train rhythm, a little bit of blues, kind of that natural swing. It's like if I'm doing tap terminology, I'm doing a lot of shuffle ball changes, I'm doing some triplets, some flaps. And then, so I was doing this for a song like Coattails. In the early days, it would be. So now I had to enter in these guys. So I started with, let's see. Okay, I can do that. How do I bring in this tom and how do I give it more of a swing? And so I'd start entering in the tom like. And I would do double on the toms and I'd take out bits of the tap so it would be some more supportive and it wouldn't be too cluttered. And it would also create what I thought was maybe more of a dance rhythm. Yeah, so most of my drumming, it starts with, in the old days, my drumming started with, this is a tap step, because this is how my mind works. This is an 8-count tap step. And then when I started to get progressing in my drumming ability, now it's coming more into, I'm creating drum rhythms, and I'm going, how do I fit a tap step into it? How do I make it more accent focused? Is this tap necessary? Am I doing this tap just to show that I can do something different, or is it something that's supportive of the beat? So, like for example, let's see here. I'm working on a new beat because I just got a new rack tom in that you can't see, but I have a new cute rack tom. So I start with, let's see here. And that's my kick drum.
Something goes wrong.
Am I back? So I'm trying to create from
Let's return to Instagram. Something goes wrong on the Instagram.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. It happens. Okay, we are back.
Maybe Mercury's in retrograde. Maybe I'm not very good at technology.
let's continue the lesson.
Okay. You want me to go back on the drums?
Yeah, of course.
So some of the beats I do, like I was kind of showing, I kind of build on the beat where, let's say it's my kick drum. Starting with a kick. And then I'll bring in the tap. Now maybe I'll make the tap a little bit more complicated. And then maybe I'll bring in my snare every other. And then maybe I'll bring in the tom to accent the other part of it. So I kind of build on piece by piece, kind of creating the rhythm that way.
Okay. We have Zardina here. Is asking for hello from you.
Hi, Zardina. How are you? How you doing? I hope you're well. I hope everybody's well in this time. It's been a really hard time for everybody. It's been especially hard for musicians. But the thing that makes me feel good is that I'm in a rehearsal space right now, and there's musicians that are in every room working on something. So even if musicians can't get out there and play and we're struggling with things, know that in this off time, people are still creating and they're still making all of this magic that's happening. So I hopefully when everything opens up, there'll be a lot of new songs for everybody.
Yeah, great. We have some comments here. Andrew Palmer, who knew the tap dance and drums worked so well?
I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, I think sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When I mean, sometimes I'll be honest, I feel limited by my kit. You know, if you're sitting down to, there's a certain amount of fills that you can do, certain rolls, certain like there's a speed that you can kind of incorporate in your arms because you're not doing it from your full body, or I'm not trying to tuck in all these tap steps. So, but you know, like I'm trying to use those limitations in a way to be more creative. So sometimes when I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm like, oh my God, if I was just sitting down, if I was just playing the kick with my foot, maybe that would be easier. But then at the same time, being able to dance the rhythm too makes me feel like I'm a part of the rhythm, not just playing it. I mean, I know when you're sitting down and playing the drums, it's the same thing too. But from my experience, I like feeling like the rhythm's making me dance and I'm dancing at the same time.
Great, fantastic. Do you do you think about maybe playing having two drum kits?
Yeah.
On stage?
I need two drum kits. Oh, you mean to have a sit-down drum kit and also my drum kit?
Yeah.
I think as I get older, that's going to have to happen. I mean, I didn't learn how to play the drums down kit. Every time I sit down a kit and I'm starting to play with a kit, I'm going, oh, whoa, okay, this is a whole other thing that I have to learn at the same time. It's so challenging. But I'm excited. I've always loved drums. I've always loved playing the drum, like the idea of playing the drums. But when I was really young, I remember I wanted to play the drums. I was already dancing, and my family was pushing me more in the direction of tap because in the house, and maybe it would just be, I don't know. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm still expressing myself with rhythm because tap is so similar to drumming in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But now I'm glad that I'm getting to do both.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks God for you are doing both. We have a question here. What gave you the idea to tap dance on drums? I know that you answered on the beginning, but let's answer the question from Andrew Palmer.
Andrew Palmer, hello. I was mentioning it earlier, but I'm happy to mention it again. It was never an idea I had. It was never, this whole life is an experiment. This whole life was a fluke. This whole life was not a part of any plan. I learned how to tap and drum at the same time because of necessity, because I was already in a project. We had a tour booked in 2 months. We had a drummer. I was tap dancing with the band, with the drummer as well. He quit. People were like, do we find another drummer? Or Lauren, hey, can you learn how to play the drums and do what you do? And we'll just tour that way. You got 2 months, figure it out. And that's what pushed me in this direction. And if that didn't happen, I don't know if I would ever sit around and conceptualize this kind of art form or feel like it was something that was even conceivable or worth my time or something I would enjoy as much. But because we needed it to tour, I was pushed in that direction and I discovered what my passion was. And I thought I had other passions, but I realized that this was actually my journey all along.
Great. We have a question here from a Brazilian girl. Yeah, she asking if you always play.
I do always play stand up because I have to tap dance at the same time. I mean, I do some songs where I don't tap dance at the same time, but I usually design it that way for a long set so my limbs can take a break. But I understand so much of drumming and rhythm because of the choreography. I think of drumming, and if I think of a bar of drumming in my head, I'm going, okay, left ball of foot, right heel, right ball, right arm on kick, left hand on snare. I mean, I've designed it so much so it's almost like that's my music that I'm writing, and then it becomes a dance that I play, as opposed to that's just that's just how I visualize it. It's a physical it's just yeah. I don't even know what I'm saying. That's just how I look at it. But I think other drummers would be like, "What? That doesn't make any sense." Or musicians are like, "Why do you count 5, 6, 7, 8? It's 1, 2, 3, 4." I go, I know. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Yeah, because the dancers always counting about 8, correct?
It's always 8, and it's always and 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, always. And I had rehearsal earlier today with Rob, and still he's like, "Oh, you count off the song," and I'm like, "Sure." And then I'm like, 5, 6, 7. He's like, "What are you? 6, 7, 8. What are you doing?" I can't help myself.
Okay, Adriana, so sorry. I said that you are Brazilian, but you are Portuguese. Sorry, I don't know about that. Stay with us. Larry, when's the new song coming out? Zardina is asking.
We have so many songs. I mean, Rob and I, my bandmate, have been using this time in 2 ways. Using this time to write as much music as we possibly can write, and also for me to get as good as I can get at what I do. And so every day, so I added another drum to my set, and now I'm incorporating that whole thing. And then we have about 6 or 7 new songs, at least. And so we're in here every day, maybe sometimes pretty much every day, just working and playing. And we're so lucky that we're a bandmate of 2, because I know for so many bands that are larger, in these times you can't get together and it's complicated, but we're already married and live together, so band rehearsal is so easy. And yeah, we have a lot of material coming up.
Wow, I can't wait too. Because my favorite tracks is all of them.
That's good, safe answer.
Yeah, really. I'm not lying. I was listening your Spotify, and very, very cool. Very, I like so much.
Thank you so much.
We have a question here from Beaumont Boomford. Okay,
It's Bo.
Yeah. How exhausted are you after a set?
Insanely. No. I think for me, I'm not young, but I'm not old. I'm getting older, but I'm not super young. So I would think that, like, oh, this stuff is really exhausting because it's so physical, and I'm getting older, Lauren, and it should tire you out. But I gotta say, it's like going for a run or going to the gym. The more I do it, the less exhausted I am, and I usually feel better after. I'm usually tired before I do a set and lazy and go like, can I just eat something? I don't know if I feel like tapping right now. I'm tired. And then I do it, and I can be up for hours. It's like I had a jolt of coffee. It energizes me.
Do you have a routine of maybe for studies or just rehearsals?
You mean a routine like warm up? Is that what you mean? Like to stretch?
Yeah, like to stretch or to practice your movements, kind of everyday routine to practice.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, I do. I mean, look, I could be way better at stretching also. Like, my prep work is not where it could be. Some nights it's just some whiskey. But now that I always feel like in the times in between touring, I kind of call it training. So I look at it like, and this has just been a really long training period. It's usually like 3 months. It's not like this long, but it's good. Um, I I work out to get myself really strong, like lifting weights and stuff like that. And then in my rehearsal space, I run through our set usually, like which gets me warm, and then I start working on new material, or I hear a fill in a song on the radio that I'm in love with, and so I'll bring it into the practice room with me, and I'll go, okay, how do I then make the fill that I hear that's being played at a sound kit? And how do I incorporate it into my kit, and how do I incorporate tap into it? So some of my rehearsal time is about like breaking down rhythms of my favorite songs and how can I do versions of that myself.
Yeah, fantastic. Do you study some kind of rudiments on your tap?
Wait, do I use something of what?
Yeah, like doing singles or anything,
Oh, do you mean as a warm up or just in general?
in general?
I'm confused. Do you mean like triggers, or do you mean
No,
like
like if you study sometimes doing some kind of rudiments, drum rudiments.
Oh yeah, I do that with tapping too. Yeah, for sure. And like tapping has a lot of, yeah, I do that. You mean like paradiddles, and I have like things like that, exactly. Yes, that I'm working on to make my rolls better, my fills better. And then with tap, yes, it's very similar. Should I hop in? I mean, I can hop and show a couple things.
Yeah, yeah.
So with tap, it's a little bit like a tap warm up would be like, you're working the balls of your feet for a while, and you're just getting, and then you're working your heels, and you do that, and you do that in all different things. You're kind of opening up your hip joints. You're stretching out your feet. Like mine crack a lot right now, so I get to do all that stuff. So all of this should be part of my daily warm up, but I'll tell you it's not. But you're inspiring me, and I need to do that. But yes, a lot of that stuff too, for sure.
Yeah, fantastic. Can you describe your drum kit for us?
Sure. Okay, so what I'm tap dancing on right now, which you can kind of see, I don't know if you can fully see it, is a bass drum. It's a 22-inch bass drum that we converted into a tap drum that we call it. Dance drum. In like World War II, World War I, these were used a lot as like dance platforms, so it's kind of like a nod to that. And then we took out the plastic head and we built it in a wooden head, which kind of sits in there. It's still hollow inside, one half is sawed off, but I can tune it. This one's made from maple wood. I've tried lots of woods. The maple wood is my favorite. It's industrial strength maple, so they use it on planes because I play in so many climates that if I use different kinds of wood, they tended to, if it was humid, they started to crack and they started to bubble or whatever. This one's lasted me about 5 years, which is crazy because I beat it to death. And then I have my kick drum. I don't know if you can fully see that, but I have a kick drum. I have a floor tom right in front of it. I have a new rack tom that you really can't see, but you can hear. I have a marching snare. I have one cymbal. So all in all, if you count my tap drum, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drums and 2 cymbals. And I don't use my rack tom in every song, but I tend to use everything else. I tend to use this. I have one crash that I need to use on some songs, and the other crash on some songs based on how far I can reach. I mean, so many songs. If it's a really fast song, like if I don't know if anyone, our song "One More Thrill," I have to fill so quickly on my floor tom that I can't dance all the way over here to this snare far over here because I just won't hit that timing quite right. So I have to use this cymbal to get back to my snare in time for the next one. So it's kind of,
Yeah, and the drums are Ludwig.
They're a combination. I have Gretsch, I have Ludwig. I have no idea what this tap drum was at one point. Who knows? And then I have, it's a combination, but all of them with the exception of my kick are 70s. My kick drum is actually from the 80s. So yeah, but I've tuned them all really down. They're pretty dead. I like a dead sound. Back tom is a new sound I'm kind of trying to figure out. I love a tribal feeling drum kit, so I'm trying to not make it too like wowie, but I want to give it that kind of jungle feel.
Yeah.
So, but my husband and I, we're pretty obsessive about drum sound because we believe, because it's just the two of us, and we think if it's just the two of us, then everything has to sound exactly like we want it to sound. You know, and I also think for me, like a thuddier drum, a warmer drum is what gives songs that dance feel, because it hits you in the pelvis.
So, do you use any special drum head for your sound?
Yes. Let's see. I use a lot of Remos. Remo heads are my number one. Coated, like them coated. I use about 1 million moon gels. I use not only moon gels, but these are taped to death, top and bottom. And then I get a lot of my stuff. I mean, everybody's living everywhere, but there's this wonderful small drum shop in LA called the Professional Drum Shop, and I get everything there. And I also go to them. It's been in business for 50 years, maybe even more than 50 years. I go to them with drum ideas. Like when I wanted to do my kick drum, I'm like, but I need a kick drum. And it's a 20-inch tom that I need to sound like a kick drum. And I also need you to help me build these legs, because I need it to be about this high, and I need it to sound like this. And this is crazy, but this is and they can build it for me like that. So it's nice to, and you know, that they know what I do at this point, so they're open to all the wild ideas I have.
Great. Did you said that you can actually tuning your bass drum, correct?
Yeah, you mean I can tune my tap drum?
Yeah.
The drum I tap dance on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can you do that?
You know, it's really, it's not that much, but it's enough that I can tell. It's enough of a difference if I'm tapping in the center of the wood versus tapping on the corners and the sides of the wood. But I still have all the pegs. Unfortunately, you guys can't really see it, but I still have all the pegs where I can just tighten it a little bit, where I feel like if I'm tapping in a zone where I've tightened those little pegs, it tends to have a different sound, you know. But I'm also trying to work on right now is throw on a different material on the tap drum. So I don't always want to have the sound of metal on wood. So now I'm like, okay, well, what does it sound like if it's more of like a plastic and there's like a muted quality to it? Or we found some old tile that I can kind of, it's, you know, that I can cut around to fit on that, because I love the sound of tile with that metal. And so it's less, for me, I'm trying to think about, okay, maybe a pedal would be cool, or just having triggers, but what can I make that could make that sound?
Yeah.
Like, what can I do with what I have in my body to create exactly what I'm looking for? Is my headspace.
Yeah, great. So you use mallets all the entire show?
All the time. In a way, it's because it's made me strong. Because sometimes I have sticks. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a lot lighter. Oh, that's great. I don't like the way a stick sounds on a cymbal, and I don't like the way a stick sounds on a snare. I love the way that just the way that there's just a softer, warmer sound when I play with mallets. But I just love playing off. I'm standing up too, so being able to bounce like that, to bounce off that head, is really helpful. If I was sitting down, it would be easier to have that bounce with sticks, but I kind of need all that padding to really get that. Is inertia the right word? It might be. So they've been good to me, even though sometimes it's hard to do certain things with mallets, for sure.
Yeah. Did you try sticks?
Sticks. I do. I tend to speed when I play with sticks, because I'm like, oh, I can do that. Sticks are really helpful when I want to do like a snare roll. It's really hard to do like a nice snare roll with these mallets, of course. But every time I hit a cymbal with that stick, I just go, no, I just can't.
Okay, fantastic. Did you ever try doing something with brushes and tapping for a new song?
Yes, yes. Um, you know what's funny? We do, and I have done that, and I would try and do something like that live. It's hard with if for some reason I've had a hard time standing and tapping, and then have the softness of the touch of that brush because I'm playing with my body weight so much, and I'm falling into this into the drum into that step. So that's why the mallets come in handy, because if it's a weight change to a drum, I can use that balance. But when I have something like a brush, which really needs that wrist love and that light, that's what I've had a hard time with. So it would need to be. I would love to start doing it if I can bring out a chair and I could just throw on and I can have my snare and maybe my feet on the ground and something like that. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I think you can try to post something, just a little thing doing uh,
Brush.
brush and tapping for the next weeks.
I can tell you love a brush.
Yeah, yeah. I love brush. I love sticks. I love mallets too.
You love them all.
Yeah,
That's good. That's a good attitude to
it's
have.
because I'm a drummer.
I know, so you understand. You understand.
Perfectly.
I love the way a brush sounds. I mean, I love the way that when it's played right like that, it's so cool. I love it.
So, when you record the tracks on the studio,
Yeah.
you have a bass sounds. You have so many sounds on the track, studio version. You have claps, you have some tambourine, you have two guitars, etc. Do you want to? Do you like to play live? Just your two, both of two, just to don't have any backtrack.
Oh, we have tracks. So we try and do, well, you know what's amazing about Rob is not only does he write all the music, but everything you hear on those tracks, from a piano, from the bass, from everything, he's doing all of it. Like I just drum and tap, but he plays every single instrument on our album. It's insane. So what we do is we recorded it. So we do about half the set with backing tracks. So I have a bass to play with. I don't like not playing with a bass for too long. It's like I really miss it. I like that relationship and that. Also the tambourine, like certain things are nice, and we're only two people. So we do about half our set, maybe a little bit more half our set, with help from some backing tracks just to fill out the sound. But we always do the first half of the set, just the two of us, because we kind of like the build of like every song builds on the other song, kind of designing it like that. Like we'll start as stripped as possible, we'll build from there, to reach the max of what the two of us can do without anything else. And then we'll bring in the tracks, and then we'll slowly build on the tracks, just so it's kind of got that whole story of. And then pretty soon at the end, when it's all full and the full track's in and we're all in, you just go like, how did we get here? And then if we do an encore, what we like to do is come out without the tracks again. So it kind of takes you back to where we started. Yeah. So I like both. Playing with tracks though is so it can be really hard, because with timing, it's like you're being spanked constantly. Like I have to be so right on the money.
Yeah.
So no flams happen, or else I go, oh my God. And I'm tapping with the tracks too, obviously. So I'll have a tap solo with the track, and I'll go, oh. So I rehearse that all the time, because I'm really uptight about that.
Do you have?
I need to be.
Yeah, you have to be on time all the time. So
Not though.
you don't like to be on time. You like to be more free.
I like that we have both. I like that we have both parts of the set where I can dictate the tempo for the first half. And if I'm feeling like doing a song really slow that night, or not really slow, but if I'm feeling like, let's just groove this one out. I don't want to push this one tonight. I want to sit back. I can make that choice. Or if I'm working off the crowd, like they're already ready to dance. Let's hit it. In the tracks, I don't have that freedom. So I do like that I get, okay, the first half of the set is me kind of riding off the energy of the crowd and what I want to play. And then the second half is, all right, now I'm getting spanked, but it's okay because then I can focus on other things. So
Yeah, I know what you mean. Do you put the sound of your tapping on your phone?
you mean like
Yeah, like when you are playing live.
yeah,
Do you use some earphones?
in-ears?
Yeah.
I mean like oh, I see. No.
No?
And people think I'm crazy because well, I move around so much during the set. Like if anyone's are a part of this conversation that's seen me, I'm flipping, I'm sweating, I'm jumping, I'm doing that stuff. So it's really hard to have anything too much glued to me because I'm constantly moving, and I also like to hear the room. So I'm a monitor girl, even though we've played some big places, thankfully, that people are like, you're crazy. You have to not do these monitors anymore because it's just too. But I hate just hearing that. I want to hear the crowd. I want to hear even the reverberation of it coming back to me. I'll work with that. I want to be a part of it with everybody. And the minute I put those in-ears in, I feel like I'm in my own head, my own world. And I'd prefer to flam.
Yeah, I prefer a monitor too.
Right?
But yeah, I like to feel the bass drum right here and the bass guitar. Sometimes you can feel properly the
No.
the bass drum, the floor tom, just here.
I mean, it does get tricky. I don't, because I usually have no drums in my monitor too. I don't like having my drums in my monitor. But I've had to start having my drums in my monitor if we play in big places where all of a sudden the room fills up. My kick drum that sounded so warm and big all of a sudden sounds like a little fart. Like then I go, okay, I need to have it in my monitor. But I tend to not like that. I think the less the monitor is better. Like if I could just do vocals, a little bit of my tap dancing, no guitar, I should be able to hear his amp fine. I think it's just clear, and then Rob's vocals aren't fighting, and there's less of a war on stage, and then we can actually just focus on the levels as opposed to, because I've been in bands where it's so loud on stage. You go, you're gonna be deaf, and this is unnecessary.
I think it will be better if you have some kind of sounds on your monitor on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you can feel more
Yeah,
the frequency.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
You have a question? No, just a comment here from Dondra. Dondra, do you know who is?
What is it?
Yeah.
I can't see anything.
You can see?
Oh, wait, I'm scrolling up.
Yeah. You guys are great. It would be nice if about dude.
If this dude
knew about the modern music.
Ew.
Me.
You got called out. No, he's great, buddy. He's great. He's great. I enjoyed this. I have to. I told I'm making lasagna and a birthday cake for Rob. I'm gonna have to go soon.
Yeah. So if you want to go soon, we can finish in about 5 minutes.
That sounds so perfect.
Yeah.
I'm happy to answer any more questions that people have. Whatever you want to know, even if it's a secret.
Yeah. No problem. Okay, we have 5 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. When you start to play the drums and tapping, what kind of goal you was thinking in a long time objective?
I don't think really that in terms of that too much. I've been so, I'm not in the moment kind of a thing. I look at myself, I have little hurdles. As like, okay, in 6 months, I want to be able to have a tom set. I want to have 2 toms that I can play with, and I want to be filling with both toms, and also maybe doing it into a my time. That's what I want to do. And then when I reach that goal, I tend to just see things in that way, because the only thing I ever want to do in this business, or me as a drummer, is feel like I'm doing a good job doing what it's about me. It's a battle within myself. And it's a hard battle, because sometimes I'm not very nice to myself. And then, so you have to like, it's okay, but I think that keeps it the most interesting. I just want to feel like I'm doing something that I'm proud of, even if it's small. Even if it's me doing if I do a song and I don't flam to a track, or I nailed that fill, or a tap solo was so in time that time, and that to me, that's it. Then I've done my job. That's all I want.
Great. I ask it because I never seen anybody playing like you do. The music is perfect with your drumming, and Rob music is perfect. I like so much your style, the glamability.
You're so sweet.
Yeah, I think your work is so elegant, and Rob too, of course. I think you're both are perfect doing what you are doing.
That means so much to me. That really does. I think he thinks about things in similar ways. We just want to like anybody, right? You just want to like what you do. The minute you start in this industry, it gets so complicated, right? You can start thinking like, oh, but I want to be on that festival, and I want that amount of money, and I want it to be that kind of a radio hit, and I want to, and then, but we see in these times, like, the world has its own plan, and the more you can remove yourself from those goalposts and have the goals be about the art, what you're trying to say in your lyrics. Is it a melody that you want to hum, not just for somebody else, but is it something you like to do? Is it I want to dance to along for the ride? And if they don't, at least you're putting something out there that you like.
Yeah, I know. So I hope that we can see you both here in Brazil anytime.
Yes.
Yeah. Please stay in contact to share us the new ideas, the new grooves, the new tapping dance, and the new tracks. Lauren, do you want to say something for the people? We have about 5 minutes, really.
What do you guys want to know about me? I don't know. I'm having a few people over for dinner tonight. I'm making a lasagna. I got all this
Did you say lasagna?
Yeah. I know, but you know what happened before this started is I made the sauce to go in the lasagna.
I'm not invited.
Totally messed it up.
I'm not invited for lasagna and cake. Are you kidding me?
Time.
Are you kidding me?
Next time, look, our door is always open.
I love lasagna.
This year, maybe in 6 months. This one's a turkey lasagna. It's good, but I messed up the sauce before I came here, and so now I have to go home and I have to remake the sauce. It's all about the sauce.
Yeah,
it's all about al dente noodles and the sauce.
Okay, no brother. So send me a pic of your lasagna and cake on Instagram. I deserve just see your lasagna.
I will. Before I go, can I say anything else to anybody?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go back here. Lauren, I have a question. Will there be KOLARS hoodies to add to your merch? When we can tour again, maybe we'll throw some hoodies in. Although hoodies are kind of big, so it's hard to fit that in the van. But think about it.
Yeah. I'm going to see more about this girl.
Oh wait, Bo.
Yeah.
Right, I need to answer a question for Bo because he's my favorite. Bo wants to know if Lauren's outfit is one piece. Bo, it's one piece. It's a onesie. Here, can you see me?
Yeah.
It's one unit. All right. Well, thank you so much for all of this. This has been such a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for seeking me out and for letting me do my first stream. I've never done this before, like, as you can tell with like my technology failing me. So thank you for being my first.
Yeah, our pleasure. Be welcome to this streaming family, Girls on Drums Festival streaming family.
More girls on drums, more girls on drums. That should actually, you know what? Fuck that. It's not a goal for me. That's my goal. My goal is more drums, more female drummers getting attention, more female drummers in the scene. Female drummers, if there's anybody watching this little thing, reach out to me. We're a community.
Yeah. So I invite you to see our next streamings.
Great.
We will have streaming from Brazilian drummers, drummers from Mexico, Israel,
Amazing.
Russia, United States, of course, Argentina, and so on. Japan.
Well,
yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great day. Wish me luck on my lasagna. Lots of love, everybody.
See you soon. Thank you, Larry. Take care.
Bye, bye, bye.
Say my compliments for Rob. Thank you.
I will. Bye.